I hate charging people for anything. I'm not here to coach motherfuckers. I'm here to just be a part of a community, a think tank. This is a constant conversation we have in this group, trying to find their purpose. Thousands of boys who need someone they can look up to and know that you're going to show up every practice, you're going to show up in the game, and you're going to be stern with them, and you're going to show them what love is outside of paternal, outside of the blood, just some man who shows up for them, that gives them everything they have to make them the best version of themselves. They need that.
Welcome to the VinnyRoc Podcast.
I took the blows and did it my way.
It's time. The VinnyRoc Podcast.
A couple things I want to talk about, man, and maybe it helps you guys out a little bit. But first, let me get you. You guys know my sponsors. You got Core Medical Group and you got MGS, and so I want to make sure that you guys know what's up. So first, we'll hit with the MGS Trade School. All right, MGS Trade School is an online trade school providing gunsmithing education. All right, they teach gun repair and maintenance fundamentals for firearms building and hands-on training through distance learning format. So essentially what they'll do is they'll send you the project and you do it at home and then you send it back for grading. All right, this isn't like a college like you're used to, like a traditional college. This is also, you're not going to receive any kind of degrees, but you will receive a certificate that is acknowledged in the gun industry and the proof of your training and the proof of the skills that you learned during your time with MGS Trade School. And so I recommend you guys go check that out. If you guys have a GI Bill, use it. This will only take up, I think, somewhere around $7,000 of your GI Bill. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's not a lot. And so if you have just a little bit left, boom, this will cover it. Why not? If you guys are interested, go to mgs.edu, go check them out. And I promise you, that company, they are outstanding, really good people. And it's someone that I've been with for a long time. I really enjoy them. And I think you should go check them out. So go check out mgs.edu. My next, I would say my next sponsor is Core Medical Group. If you guys are a man or a woman, honestly, and you're curious about your blood work, go hit them up. They have programs to help veterans and first responders who can't afford it because they're just really good people. So if you guys are interested in getting your blood work done, go check out Core Medical Group. I've been with them for a long time. They've been sponsors of this podcast for a very long time. They are very good people and they do a lot for the veteran community. And so I highly recommend you guys go check them out. If you're a man above 25, having questions about your blood work, go get your blood work done. If you're a man who had any kind of combat action, go get your blood work done. If you're someone who's lived a life that's kind of stressful, go get your blood work done. If you're struggling with your weight, go get your blood work done. If you're struggling with your libido, go get your blood work done. All right, go check out Core Medical Group. They're great people. If you guys have any questions, need a contact directly to them, hit me up in the DMs and I'll send you my boy Mike's number ASAP. Go check out Core Medical Group. Last but not least, yo, easy's no seller. And if you can't handle the streets, then get the hell out. That was a song from back in the day. Absolutely. All right. I got some cool information happening here. I'm joining on the board of a publishing company. Ballester Books has a new venture called Valor Publishing. And what we're going to be doing is publishing veterans and first responders books. And so if you're a veteran or first responder and you're interested in writing a book, I can mentor you as well as so can the company itself and help you get published. It is hybrid style of publishing. So if you don't know what that is, publishing has three kind of different levels. I would say I would give it three different levels. You have self-publishing, hybrid publishing, and then big publishing. big publishing, they will take a little bit more money in their pocket because they're going to be using a lot of their marketing strategy and capacity. And then self-publishing is going to take a lot of marketing out of your own pocket. So if you don't have a big following, it really is hard to get the kind of leverage that you need to really sell some books. And then the hybrid publishing is the one that I'm going to be doing for the next 3 books. I already have it all planned out. But they're the ones that put a little bit more into the author's pocket, as well as they use their marketing team. So it's kind of like a more team approach to publishing a book. And it's the direction that I'm going for the future of all my writing. That wasn't meant to be. I didn't mean to promote that, but it worked out right now because I just got a text. Either way, on this episode, there's 2 things that have been on my mind. I have a men's group that we've been doing for 3 years now. Okay. And in those 3 years, it might be starting to come up to more, almost 4, maybe. I don't know, but I know for sure 3. And we've been having men's calls every week on Zoom with 20 to 30 different individuals. Not just veterans, not just first responders. We have guys who have criminal backgrounds. We have just civilians, just regular old dudes who work in real estate, whatever the case, right? So we have a long list of these men who join this group. The group originally, when we started, it was about $155 a person. And with that, we would give them the contacts to get their blood work done. We have a lot of resources for them. We have a counselor that's on the call every week. We bring in some guest speakers who are just high value speakers. And so we felt that the value of that was huge. Like, we definitely gave the value. But, I hate charging people for anything. I'm not here to coach motherfuckers. I'm here to just be a part of a community, a think tank. A social group is really what we wanted to create, and we did. And so when people struggled to come up with a $155 a month, which broke down to, I don't know how much per episode or per week call. I don't know, $70, something like that. Maybe even less, I don't know, $50, whatever the hell. It became frustrating for me because I feel like people weren't investing in themselves. But then I realized, like, that is probably a higher monthly cost that not everyone could afford. Okay. So the nonprofit stepped in and started funding a lot of it. And then it started to kind of deplete the funds of the nonprofit, which it aligns with it. If you're a veteran or first responder or family member, you do align with the nonprofit. So it didn't bother me so much, but then we weren't getting funding for the nonprofit. So then, like, how do you keep answering all these questions? So in the end of the day, what we did, we bumped it down to $20 a month. That's $5 a call. It's a cup of coffee, right? And so $5 a call, you get to jump on with these men. We throw you into the Facebook group. We throw you into the Instagram chat. We also, if we have room, we have an iPhone chat as well and a WhatsApp chat. The iPhone chat is popping. The Instagram chats are popping. They're always there for you. The motivation, just a voice. If you just have a struggle of a day, boom, put it on there, and everybody kind of chimes in when they have time. So it's become a really cool community of men in a think tank of wellness, and self-improvement. And so before I go over my time, because I have another podcast I need to do. And so, we start charging $20 a month. And the reason why we have to charge is that we feel that the investment in yourself is the most important thing. So that $20 a month is no different than, like I said, a cup of coffee a week or a gym membership. And so if you're going to be a part of this group, you have to invest something into this. You have to put a little bit of skin in the game, because we are doing everything we can to show up with good, not just content, but some kind of conversation that will stem some kind of growth. Okay. And so that's what we created. We created a really cool group. And then eventually we do retreats. This year, we're not able to do a retreat because since I moved, it's been hard to kind of lock down a location. And so as we've tried, it just didn't make sense. So instead of killing myself too hard right now, I'm going to go ahead and just push it to next year. Maybe we'll do 2 next year. So either way, I'm very proud of the work we've done in this group. I'm very proud of the work that the men have done in this group. But there's 2 things that happened to pop up in the past 3 calls. And I'm not sharing with you. There's not like clients, confidentiality, but as well as I don't give you guys everyone's information. It's not about that. And in those group calls, it is personal. So we won't get into anything that's too personal to say. So don't worry. I'm talking about shit I know I can. Let me take my Tums real quick. Not a sponsor. So well, the past 3 weeks, I want to get into two things. One of the things is going to be finding purpose, and the other one is passion. Finding something that gives them passion. So finding purpose is an interesting one. There is no real answer for that because people have to find it within themselves, right? So I can't tell you that here's your passion. Oh, excuse me, here's your purpose and go find it. Because a lot of people that get out of the military, a lot of people that retire from law enforcement, a lot of people who just like are pivoting from one career to another. Also as well, if they've gone through a divorce, any kind of these big dramatic shifts in life, start leaving people with kind of, I would say idle hands, idle time, right? So what the fuck am I going to do with myself during this time? And then that always poses the question, what's my purpose? They find themselves kind of like sitting and doing the same simple routine that has no value to them, or it doesn't really, move the needle. It doesn't make them feel good. It doesn't feel like they're doing something that is worthwhile. And so they start questioning what's their purpose. Some people have gone through a whole career of something and they had a purpose at that point and then that ended. Some people physically can't do what was their purpose at one point because, their body doesn't allow them to. So now they're looking for new purpose. So this happens almost all the time in this group. From I said, those characters, from the military veterans, from law enforcement retire, from anyone who's retired or pivoted in life, also for those who've gotten divorced. So this is a constant conversation we have in this group, trying to find their purpose. And the biggest thing for me is to tell to when people do this, I'm like, I don't think you're trying to do enough in the sense of try more things and try and find what fits, what kind of moves the needle, right? What motivates you to wake up and pursue again. And still, there's guys who just aren't really good at doing that. And so, I would tell people to create little challenges for themselves and try it. And so one guy we have is going to be writing a book. Hopefully he's well on his way. He said he loves poetry. So he's pursuing writing a book. Hopefully in that writing a book, he's going to be challenging himself to look deeper within himself, to know what it is that makes him tick. And maybe he'll find his purpose in that. And if not, well, then you know what? At least he accomplished something cool. He publishes a book. So that's one of the challenges we have for one of our men. The other thing I told people was to, like I said, do more. But like what I just recently did is my son asked me if I'd coach him in football. He's a little, he wasn't extremely confident about playing football again, but he had some of his friends from school playing football. And so I started coaching. And man, I will tell you, coaching football, and now I am also coaching baseball, has motivated me to feel like I know what my purpose is. And as much as I have all these little things, and I'm not someone that feels like I struggle with purpose, I will tell you that there is a hole in our youth that needs to be filled. There is a space that is needing. And I promise you, if you are a man and you have an athletic ability and you are close to some youth sports, volunteering your time to coach sports. If you have a kid that's playing, see if you can help. Because the team I have right now, I don't want to give too much, there are several of these young men who don't have men in their lives. There's several of these young men who don't have mentors, men who they can count on, men who can tell them, hey, you talk to me with respect, and you follow the rules, and your attitude is important on how you carry yourself on the field, and your hustle is the one thing that you have, whether you have athletic ability or not, you can still hustle. These little things that you can do by being a man who was there, a man who shows up for these kids. That if you're looking for freaking purpose, go coach youth sports. Shit, go coach high school sports, right? Because the truth of the matter is I've been working with men for 3 years, one call a week, day in and day out on the messaging, just kind of helping dudes figure it out. And what I know is a majority of the men that have had some kind of struggle in life have probably also had a struggle with their father being either not present or not someone who helped mentor them as they got older. And I see what that causes. I see the ripple effect of what that does, and most of these men in my group want to be great fathers. And the comment goes, I want to be the father I never had. I want to be the man that I needed as a kid. And I'll tell you, you men who are listening to this right now, there are thousands of boys who need that. Thousands of boys who need someone they can look up to and know that you're going to show up every practice. You're going to show up in the game and you're going to be stern with them and you're going to show them what love is outside of, the paternal, outside of the blood, but just some man who shows up for them, that gives them everything they have to make them the best version of themselves. They need that. And they need it so much so that it's been an emotional 5 weeks of coaching and not for them. Like they got Big Papi there running with them and coaching them and yelling at them and putting them in their place and being the father figure, mentor, like all 4 of my coaches. Like there's 4 of us that are coaching or 5 of us that are coaching, and they get it from all of us. We're all doing our best to be relevant in their life at this moment. But the impact that I know that this will make is massive, because you guys who are veterans, you guys who are maybe law enforcement, know what it's like to have young, impressionable rookies or privates who are looking up to you, that want to be like you, that want to emulate you. And it's no different from youth sports. These kids need you men to step up. So if you have time on your hands, coach these kids. Let them see a man that has respect, manners, who isn't a tyrant, who loves on them, but as well as disciplines them, who's stern with them, who expects them to be the best of themselves, to pushes them. Be the man that they need. Be the man that you needed for them. I promise you, if that doesn't give you some kind of motivation or purpose, I don't know what will. Because for me, it has been one of the biggest blessings that I have accidentally come across. And now I'm working with these 12-year-old boys who are just incredible. Some of them have attitude problems. Some of them have motivation problems. Some of them have, the lack of courage problems. They have them all the things. And it is fun to dissect each one of these kids and say, how can I inspire this kid to do more? How can I inspire him to be the best player on this field? And that's a challenge for me. I come home and talk to my wife about each one of these boys and some of the things that they need and some of the things I'm seeing. And, I'm not really good at sugarcoating things for kids, because I've just never been one to think that was appropriate. And I always tell, like, hey, you look scared. What are you scared for? And I tell them, like, hey, that was a scared tackle. You don't need to be scared. You have all this equipment, you have all this gear. Tackle the right way and you'll be fine. And I know they're probably like, oh, dang, he just called me out. Oh, this dude is just saying it like it is. And I think it's important to do that. Like, hey, you missed that tackle. That was on you. You have your job and you're not doing it. Right. And so I think holding them accountable for their own actions, giving them honest words, and not like bashing them, not putting them down. But hey, if you make a mistake in life, someone should call you out and say, hey, that's wrong. Let's fix it. And usually the ones that call you out are the ones who love you. And so if you guys are looking for purpose, man, it's only a couple blocks away at your local sports facility looking for coaching. Coach your kids and be there for the other kids. If you're a dad that has the time to do it, please take the time to coach these kids, be there for the other kids. Your kid will love it that you're there with them, but the other kids need it more. You know, my son made a comment to me the other day, and you know, 100% respect to everybody who has kids and who's fighting like hell to raise them right. This is not a jab on anyone. I just know how life goes. But we're coaching a team right now where there's a good handful of kids who've lost their fathers to different reasons, you know, unfortunately. And, you know, God put me in a place right now to just kind of be one of the coaches that is here to try and help inspire these kids. And he mentioned, he goes, yeah, Dad, it's crazy. A lot of my friends don't have dads. And I didn't know how to respond to that. I was just like, dang, well, I could be dad to everybody. I don't care. So bring them. If they need something from me, you know, you got it. But it's, you know, that's not my place to kind of fill any gaps or anything. But the point is, if I can be just one person that they can turn back and say, that guy held me accountable. That guy loved on me when I did good. He disciplined me when I did wrong. He expected me to do more. He believed in me in doing more, you know, then hopefully that makes a big impact in the life, that forever they know that there's other men out there that, you know, can help mentor them, coach them, and love on them. And, you know, hopefully that fills a void, you know what I mean? Because the grown men I work with, that's always been a big issue. And so it's a very interesting thing. Okay. So if you're looking for purpose, maybe try coaching. The other side of this is passion. There's a lot of men in my group who are passionate about certain things. And for example, I had one gentleman who was very passionate about metalwork. He was passionate about making things out of metal and what do you call those, fabricators, I believe it is. And so he was great. He's super talented. So talented so that he started a business doing it. And then he started focusing on it 100%. And so the passion that he used to help debrief his stress, the passion that he went to I would say to kind of shut off the noise around him, to feel like himself and feel proud and accomplishments, that passion turned into pressure. That passion turned into his biggest stressor, because he decided to make it a business where then he depended on that passion to put food on the plate. And that is a scary space, because then your passion becomes your stressor and then you have nowhere to turn. So I would tell you, if you're someone that has a passion for, I don't know, I think more recently one of our guys was coaching people, right? In the sense of like wellness coaching. And he let his passion turn into his business, and his business turned into, he had to stress really hard to kind of make that business successful. Then it became a stressor. You accidentally lose your safe space to the pressure of trying to make it a place that makes you money. And so I would just tell you, think about that. I'm not telling you not to do it, because there's people that probably leaned into their passion so hard that they're able to make that. But I'd hope that they'd find another space where they can debrief stress, because it's important to find things that are yours. I use writing as a place to debrief stress. I write a lot. And it's more like journaling, a lot of concepts that might be books one day. I don't know. But in the end of the day, when I do write a book, I don't write it in the necessity for the financial gain of it. I write it because I feel like I want to give my words to the world in my point of view on different subjects, because that is what I enjoy doing. And I'm hoping that someone reads it and enjoys it, like as like art. And so I stopped thinking of becoming a financially wealthy writer and realized that it is something that helps me debrief a lot of my stress. And so I do not want to make writing a stressor. I don't want to sit here and have the pressure of making sure I write good for people so that they're happy. It doesn't feel good. Writing a TV show is a little different because you have a team of people working with you, but writing for people, writing for money, doesn't make me feel good. It actually destroys the one thing that I turn to for a stress relief. On top of that, taking photos at my kids' games. I like taking photos of my kids' games because it helps me with the anxiety of feeling like I want to be on the field with them and running with them and helping them and tackling people for them or kicking goals for them. I have this like want to be there to protect them so much so that I have trouble watching their games, so that I took up photography. And then there's people that are like, oh man, I'd love to pay you to do photography. Like, absolutely not. You are not going to ruin this for me. Because photography has become something that I use as a de-stressor, and as well as something that helps me with not feeling so much pressure about being engaged on their games and nerves about them doing well or getting hurt or whatnot. So yeah. So two things, like I said, if you're looking for some kind of purpose in life and you're not sure where, I would start coaching kids. I would say, if I pulled that back a little bit, I'd say start with providing service for others. And I think that's what I did for myself. Serve others as you find yourself, as you find what works for you. I know that when people sometimes serve others, they're avoiding healing themselves. And so I would be concerned about that. And that's the only other thing I would be concerned about. That if you choose to lean into others and help them, make sure that you're helping them from a place where you're already been healed. Because there's too many people that sometimes avoid their own healing to help others. And I think that's kind of ass backwards. That is another trauma. I would say that's another trauma response of avoiding their own issues, right? But lean into serving others. And if you have like I said, there's a lot of young men out there that need mentors, that need good men to follow, to watch, to experience. And so if you guys have the ability to coach the youth, please give them a shot. You will be surprised how much it changes you. You'll be surprised how much that inspires you to see the way they look at life. Some of these kids have been through some horrendous stuff in life. Horrendous at 12 years old. So they are brave, resilient, amazing kids. And, they just want someone to see that too. And you can be that for them. So I'd recommend you guys go and check that out. Then if you guys have passion, be very cautious about turning that passion into pressure. All right. So be very cautious about that. But that's all for me for now. Thank you for listening to the VinnyRoc Podcast. I know it's a short episode, but it's a little bit of a one-on-one with me and you. And hopefully, there's some questions that are answered in this podcast for you. If not, well, tune into the next one. See you later.